Good morning, everyone. We're just sorting out some technical difficulty. Just bear with us for one moment, please.
No, got it. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear.
Fantastic. All right, let's get this started. We've had a few glitches this morning, everyone, so we do apologize, but we'll get this going. So just let me, I'll just share my screen shortly. Okay, Elizabeth, can you give me the thumbs up? Fantastic. All right. Looks like we've got a big crowd of people, so why don't we just kick off straight away, hey? I think that'll be a good idea. All right.
So too.
Okay. So before we start, we'll just start with our acknowledgement, and we would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands on which we meet today. We would like to also pay respects to our elders past and present. Okay, well, welcome everyone. Sorry about the little glitchy start, but hey, that's technology. Thank you for attending today's webinar. If this is your first time, we warmly welcome you, and we really hope you get some great benefit out of today's session. My name's Graham Landbeck, and I am the host of today's webinar, and Elizabeth Church will be doing the demonstration today.
Hi, everyone.
I meant to say, I didn't throw to Elizabeth. There's Elizabeth.
Okay.
All right, fantastic. Okay, so the reason we do these webinars is because we see your success as our success. These webinars focus on common challenges faced by our customers, and they're a good opportunity for us to demonstrate the platform's functionality and to help you find solutions to help you better manage your workload. Just a reminder again that we do record these sessions, and at the conclusion of the webinar, we'll provide you with the link to this session. And look, feel free to share that amongst your team and share the benefits and knowledge that we've passed on today. If you do have any questions, you can pop them in the chat. We won't be having a live Q&A session, but we'll try and answer those questions during the webinar. If we don't get to all your questions, we'll certainly respond post the webinar and provide you with those solutions. So look, I'm actually really excited about today's webinar. It's a common issue that is raised amongst our customer base, and it's all about how you manage changes in staff positions and what you do with the tasks and responsibilities that are assigned to those positions. Whether you have a staff who's left the organisation or about to leave your organisation, whether you have staff on long-term leave and you need to manage their tasks and responsibilities, or whether a staff member has changed their role in your organisation and therefore their tasks and responsibilities need to be passed on to somebody else to manage. We're going to really take you through that today. Before we do continue, I do think it's important to really point out that in Logic, tasks and responsibilities follow the user position. They don't follow the user. So when a position changes, the tasks and responsibilities are retained by that position or are still linked to that position. And a common issue that we do see in some of our customers' platforms is they'll deactivate a user account, and all of a sudden, all the tasks and responsibilities assigned to the user's position are now orphaned and they're floating around and nobody's aware of them or nobody knows how to manage them. And you'll see that sometimes you might see an item assigned to position vacant. And that means that those tasks are linked to that position, but that position is not assigned to anyone. So we're going to take you through a lot of that today. Elizabeth is going to demonstrate all the tools in the box to help you manage this. And the outcomes we want for you is the ability to adapt to your staff changes, that knowledge of knowing how to transfer tasks from one position to another, and managing organizational changes, people leaving, people coming on board, and at the end of the day, being confident in your configuration. We've got some great features to show you. We've got task management, we've got bulk edit functionality. I'll be doing a bit of a Q&A with Elizabeth as she's demonstrating, and we hope that it is a great outcome for you. So I am going to hand over to Elizabeth, who will take the screen and she'll start demonstrating. So over to you, Elizabeth, sorry.
Right. Thanks, Graham. Yeah, so I guess we want to start with, what if I do have a new position? What do I do? How do I get that person onto Logic really quickly and easily? So let's say we've got some funding and we might want to add an additional registered nurse position to our platform. How we'll do that is permission-based, of course, if you have access to those permissions, coming into admin mode and looking at our system settings. The really important ones, those ones that we need to change before we can really start using the platform, in our course system menus, and we're looking for positions. Now, what I'll do first, if I was to set up a new position, is I would come and check if I have any. And I can see there I have two registered nurses positions. I need to create that additional one, and we need a unique identifier to ensure that those tasks associated with registered nurse 3 will go exactly to her. All I need to do to add that additional label is click on Add a Label and name my label. And she'll be number 3, or he'll be number 3. Click on OK, down to the bottom of the screen to save that position. I can then go and create a new user and assign that registered nurse position 3 to that user.
Fantastic. All right. So just to recap, user position names must be unique. So if you have 6 registered nurses and that's the position name you're going to use, they have to be, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, and that is what allows for the smooth transition when someone leaves the position. They pick up all of the responsibilities that was associated with that nurse 2 or nurse 3 position that we have.
Fantastic. All right. So if we have a user who's leaving the organization and they have an assigned position, show us the best way to deactivate that user account.
Okay. That is something that happens to all of us all the time. People leave the organization and we need to get rid of them, or we need to deactivate their license in Logic. 2 things will happen when you deactivate their license in Logic. 1, their position will become vacant, allowing you to give that position to the next person that steps into the position. And 2, it will free up that user license. So you won't need to be purchasing another user license. The person that you deactivate its license will become free. So how do we do that? We come to our users, we find the position or the person that is leaving the organization. Dora, in our instance, is moving on to another organization. And what do we do with Dora? We make her inactive. That frees up her user license. But more importantly now, it frees up her position as well. So now we'll need to have to manage that position.
Now, while we're on deactivating accounts, Elizabeth, what happens if the user's the primary contact of the organization?
Okay, so let's go and have a look and see in our account who is our primary contact. We can see here Meredith is the primary contact. Now let's go and have a look at what happens when I try and make Meredith inactive. We'll get that warning to tell us that we're unable to deactivate this user because they have a role in the Logic platform. And that's really important for us to remember, because we heavily rely on when your staff contacts the port and they say, oh, we need new licenses, we always refer them back to this person who is the primary contact. So if your primary contact is set to leave the organization, you need to come in here and change that to a different primary contact, and then we can come in and make that person inactive.
Fantastic. So good to know when that big high-level change is being made to the platform. Now, going back to Dora, we've decided that we're not going to replace Dora, and she's got tasks and responsibilities still assigned to that position. What do we do then?
Okay, so it happens, positions change, and we might have to split that responsibility, or Dora had additional responsibility. She may have been members of the Health and Safety Committee or the Clinical Governance Committee, and some of those tasks now need to shift. Now, if you are in your left navigator pane, at the bottom of the screen, we've got this lovely feature called Task Management. What that does, firstly, it allows us to select any type of task that Dora may have had responsibility for, whether that was actioning and reviewing, managing tasks, or approving and owning tasks, and the register that those tasks are in. So again, we'll have to go through this systematically and consider all of the tasks that Dora may have had, and we can then select her position. So it'll be a vacant position, as we can see here. We've got that Health and Safety Officer position. We can see there Dora had 2 items that were compliance tasks that she had responsibility for, and we can then transition that to another team member in our team. When I click transfer, those tasks will move, that responsibility will move from Dora to the team member that I selected.
Brilliant. And it's always a good idea to do that prior to the user leaving, so you don't have these vacant position tasks floating around. But look, we all do it. You know, we remove a user so we can free up a license, and we forget about the tasks and responsibilities. So how do we go back and go, all right, well, I need to find those tasks and responsibilities that are now floating around unassigned to a user account? What's the best way to identify and then reassign those?
A quick way for you to do that is right at your dashboard level to come to Tasks, select the All Task tab. I just clear a filter there. Select that All Task tab, and then filter, and in the officers, select your vacant positions. So I can see there my Health and Safety Officer position is vacant. And if there is still tasks that is associated with Dora, so I can see here she has a vehicle inspection and an accreditation action that she has to manage. I can either go into each of these tasks and assign them individually. If it's only 2, it's easy to manage. But if there's a lot, then you can export that content into Excel. You can filter on it using Excel, and then you can use task management to reassign those tasks quite easily and effectively to the next person's responsibility.
That's great. That's really useful to know the quick way to identify that, because, as you know, some of our organizations out there have thousands of tasks, and so that's a good way to identify that. Now, say I have a user who manages or owns a bunch of documents or contracts, and they're no longer going to be responsible for doing that. That's going to be passed on to somebody else to do. is there a quick way I can just go in and reassign that the manager role or the owner role in bulk, as opposed to going into a register item and just making the change one item at a time?
Yep. So you can do it through the task management in admin mode, as we've seen, but you can also, let's use the document manager example that you spoke about earlier, come to your register, and based on permission, if you have the permission to bulk edit, you'll have these little tick boxes to the left of the status in your view. And what you can then do is you can filter on the document manager or owner that you're looking for, that the responsibility needs to shift from. So let's say the Director of Corporate Services is taking on some additional responsibility and we want to move some of her tasks to someone else. Clicking on the Apply filter will show us what she has responsibility for. And if I wanted to bulk edit that, again, we could have a really long list or you could have a short list like in this instance. If you have the permission to bulk edit, as soon as you tick that box, the edit icon will appear on screen for you. It will highlight all the fields that you can bulk edit. At this time, we want to change that document to another member of our team. And what we will do is we'll reassign that to another document manager. Once I click update, I'll receive confirmation of what's going to happen, just that warning so that I think about the change that I'm about to make, and then I can update that. And because my filter still applies, I can now see that that responsibility no longer sits with Evie, but with another member of our team. Just about bulk edit, something is more, it can be used in this case where responsibilities need to shift. You can also use it in the case that an incident or feedback has been assigned to an incorrect business area or to an incorrect or we think we need to reclassify it, for instance. So it's useful in either where we need to shift responsibility or where we need to make changes to a specific classification or a specific type that's been assigned.
Yeah, that's a great feature. The bulk edit just allows you to make those, changes in a single action as opposed to one register item at a time. That's great. Thanks for your demonstration today, Elizabeth. I'll just take back the screen.
No problem.
And give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Fantastic.
Can see it.
Fantastic. All right. Look, as usual, Elizabeth, fantastic demonstration. Just to recap a few items that Elizabeth covered. The bulk edit feature is a permission-based feature, so make sure that you switch on that permission to the users who require that access. We showed you about changing the primary contact person in the account page. That's also a permission, and it requires edit account page permission. It's quite a high level permission because we don't want to easily hand out, the changes to that page. So we always recommend when users are about to leave or they're going on extended leave or they're changing their role, that you really review their tasks, see what they have, and then transfer them appropriately. I hope you found that demonstration very useful, and I see that there's a bunch of questions coming through, and we appreciate all of those, and we'll certainly get back to all of those post this webinar. Before we wrap up, I just wanted to just remind you all of our contact channels. So for features, products or services that you're interested in or want more information about, and you can contact our customer success team, customersuccess@logic.com.au. And for any support issues, how does bulk edit work again? How do I manage my tasks from one user to another? You can reach out to our support area at support@logic.com.au. We'll provide you with the answers you're after, maybe send you some links to some of our knowledge base articles. really use the knowledge base and our Logic Learning Academy as great resources to learn how to do these sorts of things. So I hope everyone has enjoyed the session today and found it very useful. We really appreciate the feedback we get on these sessions, and we thank you for attending. We hope you have a great day, and we look forward to meeting with you at our next webinar. I'll leave Elizabeth to end the meeting, but everyone have a great day.
Have a great day, everyone.